Okay, so today's video is going to be uh, a rant. Basically, I was about to say like a discussion or an analysis. I'm not even going to sugarcoat. This is going to be more of a rant about our current state of affairs, specifically angled towards this eviction crisis that is looming over our head. So if any of you aren't familiar with what's happening right now, so we have an eviction moratorium that is taking place, and it is set to end on December the 31st. And after that, there's about 30 to 40 million people that could be evicted, that are probably going to be evicted after this eviction moratorium ends. And so what brought me to this point to speak about this was not only the huge problem that it is, but if you're unaware, in Portland, there's a situation going on in Portland right now. So Portland has been a hotspot for police protests and Black Lives Matter protests and protests about police brutality and what have you. And it's been going on for a while now, if you've been following it. I haven't been following it very closely, but I do look at it from time to time, and it's been going on, in Portland, to say the least. And so the latest news that we have is they've tried to evict a family from their house, this red house. I think it's the Kinley family. I might be wrong on that, but I think it's the Kinley family. It's a black and native family, and apparently they've been in that house for about 65 years. And so apparently they were subjected to a predatory loan, which caused them not to be able to pay uh, uh, provide their payments anymore, and they were, they were going to be evicted from the house. But support from the community and people in the neighborhood and surrounding areas, I presume, came out and they pushed back the police and created a barrier in pretty much in a autonomous zone on that street, barricading them from entering so that they can't make their way to the house. Now, of course, the governor of Portland has, not of Portland, but the governor has given the green light to law enforcement to, by any means necessary, lawfully, got to throw that in there, to get rid of that autonomous zone and restore order, law and order, as they call it. So pretty soon we'll probably see that go down. When it comes to these kind of fights, you'll never win against the police. I mean, they just have way too many guns, way too much manpower. You just won't win. But for now, that's the current situation. And of course, there's vandalism and other things going on, but that's not what I want to focus on here. What I want to focus on is the bigger picture. None of this would be fucking happening right now if they would just place a hold. And by the way, that family, they don't qualify for the eviction moratorium. But that's what I want to get into. If they would just place a hold on all evictions across the country until this pandemic is over, none of this would be happening right now. Do you realize how many people are hurting? It's as if they don't get it. They just passed a defense bill. At the drop of a hat, bipartisan consensus, they just passed a fucking defense bill. I mean, no one gave a fuck. No kind of dissent from anyone. Yeah, we're good. We can pass this defense budget. Yeah, that's good. But when it comes to stimulus for the American people, there's hella drawbacks. There's hella disagreements. Do they need it? Do they don't need it? They might save the money. They're not going to spend the money. Yeah, sure, they're not going to spend the fucking money. You got dumbasses on corporate media saying, oh, well, people are saving. The economists that I'm talking to saying that, the people don't need the money. Who? Who are you talking to? Who are these characters on corporate media telling you that people don't need money in this moment of crisis? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. With the CARES Act, they let Steve Mnuchin run in and steal from the Treasury and hand out money to all his buddies and big corporations and what have you. The military-industrial complex, right? Pumping out $1 trillion a day. But when it comes to the people, oh, we'll give you we'll give you a $1,200 check, and that has been it. That's been all the people received. And so now we're at a point where we're on a looming eviction crisis. There's no stimulus in sight. Nancy Pelosi wouldn't accept a stimulus deal for political reasons. Bitch McConnell, proposed a $500 billion deal in response to the Democrats' $2.2 trillion deal. And then Steve Mnuchin proposed the $1.8 trillion deal, which Donald Trump co-signed on. Nancy Pelosi didn't want to support it because she was afraid it would hurt Joe Biden's chances at re-election. I mean, these are the people that we're dealing with, guys. These are the people that we're dealing with. They're so out of touch. They're so out of touch. And they just don't care. You know, as long as they're good, they go and they do their jobs. I'm so sorry. That's so insulting to everybody that heard that statement. They're not doing their jobs. If they were doing their jobs, we wouldn't be in this situation. But they just want the positions. They have the positions and they're satisfied. They don't care how people are affected by this pandemic. They don't care. We just hit a new high, I think. Was it yesterday or the day before? But 3,000 people died in a day. 3,000. I mean, man, the pandemic isn't slowing down. Wealth and inequality isn't slowing down. Let me read you a couple of facts. While people are struggling and can't put food on the table and take care of their kids, let me read this to you. 8 million Americans have slipped into poverty during the pandemic. At the same time, America's 3 richest people are now positioned to pay 0 state income tax. There's more. In the last 9 months, billionaires gained a record $1 trillion in wealth. At the same time, as that occurred, more people lost jobs than at any point in almost 100 years. Guys, we need an FDR. We need social democracy. The fact that Bernie lost, it's such a plague. It's such a plague. I mean, he would be the perfect guy to be out here right now. Yeah, we're going to give you this. We need health care. We need that. But instead, we have Joe Biden, who is insistent on keeping the status quo and returning to the Obama years. And with that way of thought, a lot of people are going to go under. A lot of people are going to go under. You thought the Black Lives Matter protests were bad. You thought the George Floyd protests were too much. You thought that the little vandalism that we had crossed the line. Just wait until those 30 million people without homes. Just wait until there's 30 million renters that can't lay their head down on a pillow to sleep at night. What, like, honestly, what then? Like, what's the end game? What do you do then? What do you do in that situation? You don't do anything. You can't do anything. It really sucks that they let it get to this point. I mean, the United States of America's response to COVID has been by far the worst of any developed country, probably any country for that matter. I mean, it has been absolutely abysmal. The Republicans are like, yeah, we don't give a shit, fuck off. The Democrats are basically echoing the same sentiment, but remember, they said they'll give you a lawyer. If you get evicted, they'll give you a lawyer. They won't give you any stimulus. They won't extend, the eviction moratoriums and make it to where nobody's getting evicted, period. But they give you a fucking lawyer. Man, I hate these people, man. I hate these people so much. Halliburton, Honeywell, military industrial complex, Big Pharma, ExxonMobil, Wall Street. That's who runs our government. That's who they cater to. That's who they care about. That's who they provide the stimulus money to. Why did all the big banks and big corporations get bailed out? Why? Why are they trying to pass a new bill that prohibits corporations and big businesses from being sued from how they handled COVID with their employees and infection rates and what have you? Why is there no stimulus included in that bill? I'm referring to the $900 billion bill that they're currently talking about. I think it's actually down to like $700 billion now. It's abysmal. Look, it's abysmal. I don't even have to be right about what I just said. It's all abysmal. And it doesn't seem like things are going to get any better anytime soon. You want to talk about social justice? Did you know that the majority of renters affected by this eviction crisis are minorities or black and brown people? Yeah, it'd be social justice if you could bail them out. They always do bailouts from the top down. Oh, let's bail out the big corporations, big businesses, and then they'll help out the people. They never fucking do. They never do. It never happens that way. Trickle down economics, Jesus Christ. Why not bail out people at the bottom or the working people for once in your life? See what works out. But no, that's too extreme. That's too radical. No, we can't do that. What? Socialism for the working people? No. Never that. We only like socialism for the rich. We only like socialism for ourselves. Yeah, that's what we like. We like it for ourselves, not for you though. Never for you. It's ridiculous, man.